everybody, welcome back to Drifting Dreams Fabrication. Hope you guys are having a great day. Our last episode consisted of us pulling the stage 3 cam out of the parts motor, and this episode we're going to start the tear down on this 5.3. So enough talk, let's get into it. So we started pulling off the intake, getting down to them fuel rails, and once we got to the fuel rails, I was able to pull off the driver's side fuel rail, and then the passenger side was seized into the head. Everybody, so we made progress. When it stopped, I was pulling the fuel rails, and then my camera shut out due to storage, but we got the right side of the head pulled off, and that's where we're at. We also got the water pump pulled off, same with the vacuum pump, and my buddy's here to help me out. His name's Alec, so welcome him to the show, and that's where we're at now. So now we're starting to work on the other head, getting it pulled off. My buddy's working on the front timing cover, and there's an oil pressure switch, so we weren't able to pull that off. We're about to get the head off here in a second, and my buddy's pulling off the valley cover, and once we got the valley cover pulled and got everything a little organized, we're going to flip the motor and pull the oil pan. And then we come to realize, after trying to pull the oil pan, that we're bolted into the oil pan, so we get the engine hoist out, and we have to pull it off the stand. And then once we do that, we pull it and get the timing cover off, as you'll see. So at this point, we're now starting to pull the rear main seal cover off, and then we're pulling out the original cam, and we're about to put in the stage 3 cam, and that slips right in. Hey everybody, welcome back. Another day, another dollar. We're going to be working on the L83 5.3. We're going to be cleaning up the motor, the pistons, trying to get all the grime and grit out of it. And our last little session, we had gotten the completely pulled apart, all the heads, got the cam in, and now we're at the stage of just cleaning it and getting ready for all the gaskets. So we're going to get right into it. So here we are, we're just cleaning up the pistons and getting them all shiny and nice, and we're using engine degreaser and a little wire brush, not steel, so we don't scratch them all up. But when you see the difference between these pistons, this is why I'm doing it. As you can see, look at how dirty that piston is. It is nasty compared to the clean ones. So, I mean, that's why I'm doing it. There's just a lot of carbon buildup, and I just want to make sure this motor is going to run top of the line when I'm done with it. So we're cleaning up some of the mating surfaces for the rear main seal and the timing cover and the valley cover, head gaskets and stuff like that. And we're putting it back on the stand, and I'll start working on it by myself here in a second. And I'm working on cleaning the side of the block, you know, trying to get that orange off, and I don't know what it is, but I'm just trying to get it off, and I'm using Brillo pads and engine degreaser, and it's not going very well. I ended up giving up on it, so I just sprayed it down with brake clean. So another day, another dollar. We've been working on the side of the block, trying to get it clean, but it's just not going very well. So I'm gonna say screw it. I'm done cleaning the side of the block, so it's pointless. So today we're going to be pulling the crankshaft, all the crank bearings, and replacing them with brand new ones, and putting it back together. And once we get that put back together, then we can start putting everything else back together. So let's get right into it. So here I'm taking apart all the connecting rod bolts and just pulling off the caps and setting them off to the side is the way I pulled them, and just making sure I got them all marked and lined up for when I put it back together. And I created a little template for all the crank cap bolts, just so that it's organized. I can put them back together in the right spot. And I start pulling all the bearings, and once I get all the bearings pulled, I clean the surfaces a little bit, and I put in the set that I had ordered. And come to find out, We ran into an issue. It's bound to always happen first time doing a complete engine rebuild. I have the right parts, except for one part is not right. So the middle main bearing crank, the crank bearing in the main middle right here, that's what I was trying to say. See that divot right there? So when you put them in, the divots on the bearings, as you can see right there, fall into place like they do here and there. So all these bearings are good, but the one bearing that's supposed to replace one that looks like said so, that is the problem. Its channel, or wherever it sits into, is on the left side instead of the right. So when you put it down in here, you can see, boom, it's not supposed to be on this side, it's supposed to be on that side. And no, you can't flip it around, nothing like that. And this isn't for the top. It's supposed to be for the bottom because it has the oil spots, these holes. So after finding out that little mishaps, I just continued on cleaning the surfaces and putting in the rod cap bearings and getting all those bearings in and moving on to the top of the crank, or the crank caps, putting all those bearings in and stuff like that. And I got some information. I got all the connecting rod bearings replaced. All brand new bearings, so she'll be top notch and tip top shape. So I hope you guys are enjoying the episode right now. It's been a fun process, been a little headache here and there, but the little bit of information that I had for you, I ordered the wrong bearings, and the crankshaft bearings, they were touching on the sides but not on the top and the bottom, so the oil clearances were off on that. And then the connecting rods, they were really wrong. They were too thick, so when I tightened them down on the crank, it would just lock up the motor, wouldn't spin, nothing. So I had to order new bearings. And I ordered new bearings, which they came in. And in this next episode, you guys will see me putting all the bearings in and just, spinning things over. I ended up having to pull the pistons too. I didn't film a lot for the portion of figuring things out because I didn't figure it out till I got the new bearings in and was testing the new bearings, and I tried the old bearings along with the new bearings, and once I put the old bearings in, it would lock up. So the new bearings are what I went with, and everything's spinning right, going good. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Stay posted, turn on them post notifications, subscribe, share it. Tune along for the build. We're having a lot of fun. We're doing a lot of crazy things. I mean, doesn't seem like it right now, but when she's up running and driving, you already know donuts, burnouts, it's gonna happen because we can fix it, break it, race it, everything. Y'all have a good day.